Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.
A cold wind swept through the alley, carrying with it the scent of betrayal. Angela leaned against the brick wall, her heart pounding as the shadows of her past intertwined with her present. She glanced at her phone, the screen illuminating the message that would change everything. Meet me where it all began. Jay, the name sent a shiver down her spine, a bittersweet echo of love and betrayal. Months had passed since she last saw Jason, her childhood sweetheart turned deceitful stranger. The gloss of their once bright relationship had dulled into something dark and twisted, obscured by secrets. The memory of their last encounter seared into her mind. Jason, eyes averted, hands trembling as he confessed to his affair. She had wanted to scream, to unleash the pain of betrayal that coiled in her chest like a snake. As she made her way to the old park bench, where they had shared countless fitful moments, Angela's mind raced with thoughts of revenge. She had spent sleepless nights crafting her plan, envisioning how the scales of their relationship would tip back into her favor. With every step, her anger turned to steel. "You think you can just walk away from me, Jason? You're wrong," she whispered under her breath, determination fueling her resolve. The park looked the same yet foreign. The blooming flowers had long lost their vibrancy, just like her love for him. She took a seat on their old bench, fingers gripping the sides as the memories washed over her. Bittersweet. She could almost hear his laughter, see his smile plastered on his face. The image, a fragile facade, tinted with longing and regret. But that was before he chose someone else instead of her. A rustling from the nearby bushes startled her, and she turned to see Jenna, Jason's closest friend, and the woman who had betrayed her trust as easily as flipping a switch. Jenna sat down across from her, the tension palpable, an uneasy silence stretching between them. "Angela, I didn't think you'd actually come," Jenna stammered, her voice quaking with the weight of their history. "And yet here I am," Angela replied, her tone eerily calm. Underneath her tranquil facade, rage simmered just below the surface. "What do you want, Jenna? Another excuse for your betrayal?" Jenna visibly flinched. "I'm sorry. It was a mistake." "I never meant for it to happen like that." Jason was just. "There." Angela's laugh was devoid of humor. "Just there? That's all he was to you? A careless moment in your endless pursuit of fun?" Her voice rose, but she clamped down on her fury. Confrontation was not her goal. Revenge was. Jenna's eyes darted around nervously, her discomfort evident. "Angela, it was just a fling. You and Jason were having issues. Didn't you ever wonder if he was?" Looking elsewhere, a sharp intake of breath caught in Angela's throat. The audacity of Jenna's betrayal choked her. You think this is about him? You think I'm here to hash out his failures? You're wrong, Jenna. You both shattered me. But this isn't the end. It's just the beginning." Jenna looked confused, and for a fleeting moment, sympathy flickered in her eyes. "You'll hurt yourself trying to hurt us. He's not worth it, Angela. Just let it go." "Let it go? Let it go." The very thought ignited a fire in Angela's chest. Letting it go would mean accepting that betrayal, that heartache, that this pain had a place in her life. And she was done. "No," Angela replied coldly. "I can't just move on. But I can make sure you and Jason understand the weight of your choices. You will see what betrayal costs you." With that statement, Angela rose, her silhouette framed against the setting sun as she stormed away from the bench. The shadows lengthened, whispering promises of darkness. As days unfolded, Angela strategized her revenge, cultivating the seeds of pain with careful precision. In her solitude, she began to discover unsettling truths about both Jason and Jenna, secrets that would unearth the foundation of their betrayals, exposing them for what they truly were. One afternoon, while sifting through her old belongings, Angela stumbled across tickets to a concert they had planned to attend together, a promise of love now balled up and discarded like a pathetically forgotten ball of paper. Her stomach soured. They had laughed about all the things they would do, the dreams they shared. Now those moments felt like salt in her wounds. She picked up the tickets, biting her lip as the weight of their memories hit hard. It was the spark she needed. Inspired, she tore the tickets into tiny pieces, each rip resonating with a shout of defiance against the girl who had so easily stolen her happiness. The next stage of her plan unfolded like a carefully orchestrated play. First, she would infiltrate their world, an undercover agent in the realm they saw as theirs. With every encounter, hidden smiles and casual glances, she turned the daggers slowly, forcing them to feel the prick of betrayal as they first handed her their pity, mistaking it for friendship. At the edge of her plan rested the final act, the climax of revenge that would resonate like thunder in their lives. One last confrontation designed for maximum impact. Gathering intel about their routines, she soon learned of the plans they had made for that fateful Friday evening, a moment where they would celebrate their love in the very place she had once thought was sacred between her and Jason. Angela wouldn't have it. The night would be shattered, and she would be the storm that rocked their world. As the chosen day approached, dread and anticipation churned in her stomach, riding the wave of her swelling anger. Jenna prattled on in their shared accomplice moments, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just beneath the surface. "Isn't this great, Angela? I can't believe how much I've missed having you around," Jenna exclaimed one afternoon, her eyes bright with a faux innocence Angela found utterly sickening. A humorless smile broke across Angela's face. "Isn't it ironic, Jenna, that you would consider this anything but a moment of tragedy?" Jenna, oblivious to the knife's edge of betrayal, sharpened Angela's words, simply laughed. "You have to lighten up. Life's too short. Just think about how far we've come. You and I. We're friends again." Angela basked in the lie of that moment, her compassion for her former friend extinguishing with each passing second. After all, now she was merely biding her time, waiting for that moment to unveil her revenge, to expose the truth, to ignite the flames that would consume what little trust remained between them. The fateful evening arrived, not in a storm of crashing thunder, but with a deceptive calm. Angela donned a disguise, clothing herself in hues of dark blue, wrapping herself in a mask of serenity, while inside she was a tempest. She arrived early at the venue, studying the people who arrived with polite detachment. As the sun dipped below the horizon, orange streaks painting the sky bright against the encroaching darkness, the tension in the air thickened. Angela's heart pounded with purpose as she approached their table, her footsteps muted under the heavy silence that hung between them. "Fancy seeing you here," she said, her voice laced with venom camouflaged by a sweet smile. "Didn't think you'd have the guts to face me after everything." Stunned, Jenna and Jason shared a glance of surprise, disbelief battling with guilt. A flicker of nervousness crossed Jason's face, instantly igniting a fire of satisfaction within Angela. "What are you doing here, Angela?" he stammered, his tone defensive. "You know I enjoy keeping tabs on my former significant other and his new partner," she remarked, emphasizing the last word with a derisive sneer. Continued eye contact between Jenna and Jason deepened the tension. Their facade of composure cracked as they wrestled with consequences, a web of lies and deceit hanging on the brink of unraveling. Angela took a seat across from them with a powerful determination, the air thick with unspoken words. "I came here to celebrate, too." "Celebrate what?" Jason retorted, a flicker of anger pushing through the veil he had tried to maintain. "Celebrating the revelations you think you've hidden so well from me?" Angela's words cut through them like shards of glass. "Like the affair you had while we were still together? Or were you too busy pretending to care to notice I was spiraling?" "That's enough, Angela. You need to leave." Jenna exploded, her face flushed red with embarrassment. But Angela only smiled, her eyes holding an unwavering glint. "Oh, I'm not going anywhere, Jenna. This is just the beginning of the real part. And as she leaned closer, the shadows enveloping the table pressed a promise against the air, each breath tightening the atmosphere, charging it with an impending power that felt louder than the pounding of drums in the music haze surrounding them. Betrayal was looming, watching with anticipation, and soon revenge would spill like ink across the pages of their lives, changing everything. They had bowed out of her narrative, but she was far from finished. She was merely igniting the first as the first notes of music faded into the background. Angela leaned back in her chair, savoring the moment. Her heart raced, and a wicked smile crept across her lips as she relished the expressions of shock on Jason and Jenna's faces. "You think you can just deny what happened?" she pressed, her voice low and cold. "You think you can escape the reckoning for your betrayal?" Jenna fumbled with her drink, eyes darting nervously between Angela and Jason. "Angela, please, let's not do this here. It's a public place. We can talk later." But Angela cut her off with a dismissive wave of her hand. "Oh, we can't talk later, Jenna. You see, I am tired of hiding. I'm tired of letting you dictate the terms of our interactions with your feeble apologies. You violated our friendship, and Jason, well, he threw our love away like it was nothing." Jason's jaw tightened as his facade cracked further. "You don't get to say that, Angela. You were the one who pulled away. You were the one who broke us first. You made it easy for me to find comfort in someone else's arms." "Spare me the excuses, Jason," she snapped, her voice rising, drawing the attention of nearby tables. "You didn't just find comfort. You chose to betray me in the most despicable way possible. This isn't about us anymore. This is about what you've done. Both of you." The tension suffocated the area, music forgotten as whispers filled the air, eyes glued to the unfolding drama. Angela leaned forward, her intensity drawing all focus to the table. "You play nice, act as if nothing happened, but I'm here to remind you, you both shattered my world, and now the bill for that betrayal has come due." Jenna visibly paled, her bravado deflating. "Angela, Don't make this worse than it already is, Jenna. You didn't just take my boyfriend. You stripped me of my dignity, my trust, and our shared history. Do you really believe I'd stand idly by and let that go unpunished?" Her breast raged with anger, but now it infused with a cold, dark purpose, a certainty that settled within her. This confrontation wasn't just an outpouring of pent-up emotions, but the ignition of her master plan. As the minutes melted into an eternity, Angela stood, palming her phone. She had prepared for this moment meticulously. As she opened her gallery, the screen illuminated with the incriminating evidence, she was about to unveil proof of Jason's infidelity. A montage of snapshots that Jenna thought were securely locked away. "You still think you can control the narrative, don't you? Let's see how well you handled the truth," she said as she started playing the video. It captured intimate moments between Jason and Jenna, laughter shared, stolen kisses, and whispers exchanged that illustrated the depth of their betrayal, while Angela stood as an unseen spectator. Gasps echoed around the venue. Anger morphed into panic on Jenna's face, her eyes wide as she processed the betrayal of her own friend, and Jason's expression shifted from defiance to disbelief. "Angela, no! You can't do this!" Jason shouted, his voice frantic. But the damage was done. "Can't do what, Jason? Expose you? You've spent months trying to erase me from your life and from the narrative you built with Jenna. It's time the world sees you as you really are. Unfaithful, deceitful, and unworthy of trust." The crowd around them began to murmur, people craning to get a better look, intrigued by the unfolding drama. Angela felt powerful, invincible. She was untouchable at that instant. She turned back to Jason, eyes simmering with contempt. "How does it feel knowing everyone sees the truth? How does it feel that your image as the charming, perfect boyfriend is crumbling right before your eyes?" Jenna, cornered and desperate, tried to defend herself, swiping at Angela's phone. "This isn't fair, Angela. You're crossing a line." But Angela felt no pity. All the love she had once held flared into the ghostly embers of revenge, and with a sharp motion she thrust the drive into the air. "Watch me! It's a public event, Jason. Everyone deserves to see what kind of man you truly are." The murmur grew into an uproar, eyes flickering back and forth as whispers permeated the crowd. And with one fluid motion, she connected the drive to a wide screen nearby, launching the visuals underway for all to see. The screen flickered to life, images of their old relationship, intertwined with a collection of Jason and Jenna, snatched moments of folly, all disassembled and laid bare for every single person in the room. Echoed laughter turned sharp, turned bitterness as the truth hit those gathered like an unexpected gale-force wind. In clear focus were voice notes tainted with promises and betrayals, each slur sliced through the air like daggers, embedding themselves in hearts that had once been none the wiser, ripping apart the fabric of relationships threaded tightly with lies. Jenna stepped back, realization dawning. Her breath caught in her throat as Jason's true colors erupted before them, amid gasps and clicks of disbelief, countless shockwaves rumbling through the crowd. Angela held the gaze of the room, unabashed, the power of true revenge sweeping over her. She watched the fading smiles and burgeoning devastation play out like a live film, lips parting, expressions betraying a melange of shock and scorn that congealed in the air. And Jason stood before her, a puppet with cut strings, his world unraveling into chaos as whispers slashed invisible wounds across his body. In the wake of the revelations, his face twisted in disbelief, rage igniting as he realized the full extent of her devastation. The silence was deafening at first, but as the fury ignited within the crowd, applause followed, a raucous echo of applause at her cunning relentlessness. Their whispers turned into words, all directed against him, laying every ounce of his facade bare. "You think you can have it all, play everyone," she taunted, relishing her moment. "Let's see if you enjoy this game as much as you believe it brings pleasure to you, because this is only the beginning of your embarrassment, your fall. The return of why betrayal is a costly price to pay. You never wanted to be left standing. You sought to strip me of my light. Now it's your turn to feel that burn as it rolls back on you, swift and merciless." As she turned, she caught a glimpse of Jenna's aghast expression amidst a sea of disgust and disbelief, and she bitterly relished in the wreckage they had both created for themselves. Jason stood dumbfounded, a portrait of ruin, while Angela stepped away, each stride echoing the finality of her declaration as the last act of her vengeance unfolded before their very eyes. And just before leaving, Angela turned and threw a final line over her shoulder, cast with poignant finality, its weight heavy with every spoken syllable. "You should have known better than to choose the wrong person. My heart was your home. You turned it into a battleground. But now, look around at the chaos you orchestrated. This is where I walk away, leaving you to drown in the empty void of your choices. This is where your facade shatters, just like my heart did. You thought you could win? The only thing you won was my cold disdain. Enjoy the fall." And with that, leaving the echoes of her revenge resonating in the hearts of everyone present, Angela faded into the darkness, leaving behind the ashes of a life they had tried to destroy. No reconciliation would follow, no soft words to mend what lay broken. Only the brutal truth would remain, sharp and unforgiving. Her plan flawlessly executed, betrayal now, a haunting specter looming over Jason and Jenna's futures, forever changed, just like hers had been. In the quiet aftermath of heartbreak, Angela reclaimed her power, hard-won and relentless, a shadow of vengeance gliding through the night, fully satisfied as she emerged triumphant amidst the wreckage.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like.